How do you maintain state with dynamic HTML in JavaScript? Imagine clicking a button and seeing your web page instantly update without reloading. That's the magic of working with dynamic HTML and keeping track of what's happening on your page. When users interact with your site, the content changes, but how do you remember those changes? That's what maintaining state is all about. It's like keeping a mental note of what the user has done so your page can respond appropriately. The first thing to understand is that state is the data that shows what's happening on your page at any moment. When you change HTML content dynamically, like updating text or adding new elements, you need a way to remember those changes. The simplest method is using JavaScript variables or objects. Think of them as containers where you store information like user choices or current settings. For example, if someone picks a color from a list, store that choice in a variable. Then, whenever you update the page, you check that variable to see what to display. This keeps your web page consistent with what the user has done. Next, you want your web page to reflect the current state. When a user clicks a button or selects an option, you update the DOM, which is the document object model that represents your web page. You can do this by changing the text inside an element with text content or replacing content with inner HTML. If you want to add new elements, you can create them with createElement and insert them into the page. This way, the visible content always matches the data stored in your variables. Sometimes, it's helpful to store state directly in the HTML itself. You can do this with data attributes like datastate. These are special attributes you add to HTML tags to keep track of information. For example, you might set dataActive is equal to true on a button to show it's selected. Later, you can read or change that attribute with JavaScript, making it easier to manage state without constantly referring to variables. To keep the state even after the page reloads, you can use browser storage options. The local storage API lets you save key-value pairs in the user's browser. When the page loads again, your script can read from local storage and restore the previous state. For example, if a user selects a theme or a language, you save that choice in local storage. When they come back, your page reads that data and updates itself accordingly. Event listeners are your best friends for updating state on the fly. Attach a click or change event to buttons, drop-downs, or other controls. When the user interacts, your script can update the variables, change the DOM, and even save the new state in local storage. For instance, if someone picks a different product option, your code updates the displayed price and stores that choice for future visits. For more complex projects, frameworks like React or Vue help manage state more efficiently. They have built-in tools to keep your data and DOM in sync. But before jumping into those, mastering how to handle state with plain JavaScript is a great foundation. Picture a web page with a drop-down menu of US states. When someone chooses a state, your script stores that choice in a variable. It then updates a section of the page with facts about that state. All this happens without reloading the page. The user sees the content change instantly, and the script remembers their choice for the duration of the session or until they pick something else. In short, maintaining state with dynamic HTML in JavaScript means storing current data in variables or objects, updating the DOM to match that data, optionally saving it in the browser, and updating everything based on user interactions. This approach keeps your web page lively, responsive, and able to remember what's happening, making for a smooth and engaging user experience.